Mike Singer, Darren Pritchard with you, talking Notre Dame football recruiting on Budweiser's Weekday Sports Beat and the Blue and Gold YouTube channel. I guess this is a classic recruiting palooza weekend with Ohio State in town. I mean, you could spend probably 6 hours talking about all the different storylines this weekend. Give us a sample.
Well, before we started recording, we had already reported 40 targets and commits. So this is not, the kid down at the YMCA who got, just invited to go to the Central Michigan game. This is, you get invited to the Ohio State game because you're a player who Notre Dame's after, not just like, hey, we're inviting the kids from the local schools, maybe some of these 2026 or 2027 guys who we think can become players down the road. Let's get them inside Notre Dame Stadium very early on in their high school career. That's not this. Ohio State, this kind of weekend, it's you get your top players. It's your 2024 commits, any 2024 remaining targets, 2025. I mean, basically, if you're a top Notre Dame 2025 target, you got invited to this game. You might not have been able to go, but you got invited to this game. Some of them are going to go to USC, even a few of them Pitt, just based on, travel schedules. It's tough to travel across the country, just any given weekend. But Darren, the amount of talent it's outstanding. And that's as of Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday, that list might grow a lot as we confirm more visitors and hear from different sources about who's coming in. So very good. And I will mention on the 2024 front, Notre Dame has very limited spots, but just interested to see if Notre Dame has any surprises this weekend, Darren. Like, do they bring anyone up that maybe people don't know about yet? That's something I'll be keeping an eye on.
All right, so give us a couple of names of some big-time players that will be coming to this Notre Dame-Ohio State game.
Yeah, like you said, Darren, we could spend 6 hours on this, but how about we just do 6 names that I think, really off the top of my head, that are pretty notable going into this one. Again, stay locked into blueandgold.com this week. We'll have much more reporting on this as the week goes on. But speaking of 2024, guys, this is a rather interesting one. We've talked about Davis Andrews for months now. He is taking a 2-year Mormon mission trip after graduating from high school in December, but still closely considering Notre Dame, Utah, and UCLA. That's kind of the final 3 to my knowledge. I think after he takes this Notre Dame visit this weekend, he will know where he's going. I think it's going to end up being Notre Dame, but I'm still kind of nervous about Utah. And for folks being like, oh, why do I care about this kid who wouldn't get here till 2026 anyways? Why is Notre Dame wasting their time? I would argue the opposite. There's no downside for Notre Dame here, even if, because he could take his 2-year Mormon mission trip and then afterwards decide not even go to Notre Dame, because his time as an NCAA college, student athlete, whatever, hasn't started yet. So he can do that, which is interesting because he won't be a true freshman until he obviously enrolls back. So it's not like his eligibility clock starts. But anyways, if this does work out, you're having a 19 or 20-year-old true freshman. Like, just think about the advancement for him physically. So there's no downside here, and there's only upside. And Davis Andrews at about 6'2", thinking around 200 pounds. He could be a linebacker or a safety at the next level. He's a good-looking player, Darren. I think if Davis Andrews were playing in the state of Georgia, he'd be a big-time, 4-star type guy. But Davis Andrews visiting this weekend, got to think that there's a decent chance he pops to Notre Dame if all goes well and he's okay leaving the state of Utah. Daniel Anderson, a running back from Bryant, Arkansas in the 2025 class. He's one that I've predicted to Notre Dame, and I think the Irish have a pretty good shot to land him. And I wouldn't be surprised, if it's this fall, or even in the pretty near future. We really like where Notre Dame's at for that talent from Arkansas. Jadon Blair, 6'4", 180-pound safety, is coming to campus. On3's own rankings have him as the number 26 overall player, number 2 safety. He was also on campus at the end of July. So 2 visits in the span of a couple months for this kind of big-time, highly ranked, lengthy prospect at the safety position. That's definitely good news. We love talking about elite level defensive linemen from Chicago on the show, Darren, and Notre Dame will have Chris Burgess from Simeon in Chicago land on campus. When you talk about Justin Scott, the problem with Notre Dame and landing him was Scott was in Chicago and barely ever visited. Burgess has been to Notre Dame. I think this will be trip number 6. So that bodes pretty well for my mantra of follow the visits. So 6'4", 230-pound defensive end, number 114 overall player, number 12 edge per the On3 industry ranking. Owen Strebig, big-time offensive tackle from Wisconsin, 6'7", 295 pounds, top 100 player. Notre Dame, get this, Darren, again, from Wisconsin. It looks like a Notre Dame USC battle. Not Wisconsin. I hear like Notre Dame versus USC, which is interesting. It's tough to go into Wisconsin and land players. That's why Notre Dame's only done it, I think, just once, at least from a scholarship perspective in 20 years when they got Billy Shrouth a couple years ago. So Notre Dame is looking good here. Another player that I believe the Fighting Irish will eventually land. And then big-time talent from Chicago, Talon Taylor from Geneva, number 71 overall player, number 12 receiver per the industry ranking. I hear the most about Notre Dame, Georgia, and UCLA for him. So a big-time prospect from Notre Dame's, we'll call Chicago Notre Dame's backyard. So, Darren, that's just 6 names. There really is a lot. We could spend a lot more time on this, and we certainly will do that reporting at Blue and Gold this week.
I was just thinking as you were going through those players, if we get out the rosters of Notre Dame and Ohio State, I wonder how many of them you have talked to, covered, or talked about. I would have to imagine maybe over 75%.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. I've covered the 2020 class and on, so if just the guys from the 2019 class, like your Cam Harts of the world, those are all fifth-year guys. So, yeah, it's actually pretty cool to think about.
Yeah. So all these recruits coming to Notre Dame Stadium, what do you think they're going to see when the Irish and the Buckeyes get together?
A Notre Dame victory. I like it in the 20s, something like 27, 24, something like that, 27, 26, somewhere in that range. I like Notre Dame to win. They're just, for me, can Notre Dame keep Sam Hartman upright?
Yeah.
If they can keep him upright, I think Notre Dame wins the game. I really think Ohio State is going to make Notre Dame win over the top. Those Ohio State DBs are going to be physical with the Notre Dame receivers. They're going to come after Sam Hartman, make him uncomfortable, and see if the likes of Jaden Thomas and Tobias Merriweather can beat those Ohio State DBs. That's the key to the game for me.
I've got it 30-26 Irish right now, so we're kind of in the same ballpark. Hey, you've got a special deal happening right now at blueandgold.com to kind of commemorate this big game at Notre Dame Stadium.
We sure do. So we have 2 different offers for you. You can sign up, and this is for first-time users. You can sign up for $1 for a month, kind of just like hey, get you in and let you try this out. Or if you just want to take the plunge for a year, it's currently half off the normal annual subscription. So that's both for first-time users. If you go to blueandgold.com, it'll be right there at the top of the website. So please do check that out. And if you sign up, you'll have to let me know in the YouTube or the Twitter or the emails or carrier pigeon, whatever you got to do to let me know. But blueandgold.com, definitely your home for Notre Dame football and recruiting.
And I would imagine you'll have quite a few stories following this game in terms of these young guys watching this ball game at Notre Dame Stadium.
Darren, Sunday feels like 2 years from now. I mean, 2 hours from now feels like, next week. It's I'm just trying to get through these days, Darren. Don't talk to me about Sunday yet.
Well, I'll expect it. Maybe
yes.
There might be a few. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe a few. Yeah.
Maybe a few. All right. Mike, good to catch up with you. We really appreciate your time, and we will talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Darren.